60% of business owners report having chronic stress, which means that they're always stressed out. It doesn't stop at the shop. You're bringing it home. You're bringing it to the soccer games. You're bringing it to the dinner table. Being an owner is not easy, and it's not for everyone, believe it. You've got to get organized. Hi, I'm Jimmy Luria with Victory Team Building Group. Today, I want to talk to you about how do you deal with the stress of owning or managing an auto repair shop. It's amazing. 60% of business owners report having chronic stress, which means that they're always stressed out. It doesn't stop at the shop. When you shut the doors at the end of the day, it's with you. If you're stressed out, you're bringing it home, you're bringing it to the soccer games, you're bringing it to the dinner table. Whether you're communicating it or not, it's still there. It affects your sleep. It affects your vacations if you take them. It affects everything about your life. So how do you deal with it? Because as entrepreneurs, we like to be in business. We like to be the boss. We like being able to say which 23 hours a day we're going to work. The point is that being an owner is not easy, and it's not for everyone, believe it. Most people in the world are not business owners. So you're amongst a very small percentage of the world who wants to take on that challenge. And there are many, many rewards to owning a business and having that creative ability to be able to design the business and the product and the whole experience of your business on your own without anybody telling you what to do. So how do we deal with the stress? Because you're not alone. There's a lot of people who deal with stress, but the number one thing that stresses people out is that there's so many balls in the air at any given time. You're juggling multiple hats. You have so many responsibilities. You have employees, you have bills, you have customers, you have parts issues, you have weird problems with vehicles, not to mention the stuff that's outside of your work life, family, kids, all those things come into play when you're on the job. So how do we deal with that? Well, one of the first things that we do when we're working with a new client who is stressed out, which most of the time when people come to us, they're trying to get to the next level, yet they're frustrated with not having enough time, money, resources to be able to do that. And they don't know how to free themselves up so that they can spend time doing the things that it's going to take to actually grow the business. How do you deal with the stress? Well, the first tip is you've got to get organized. One of the first things that we do is we start with a shop flow program. What does that mean? Well, if you take the final product of your shop, which is a fixed car, happy customer that's going to refer others. If we take that product and now we go step by step on how you attain that product in the shop, you'd be amazed at how many of those functions that you're taking responsibility for personally, when actually there should be more people helping out in that process. And so when we sit down and we actually work out who answers the phone to schedule the appointment, who confirms the appointment, who checks the customer in when they arrive, who dispatches the work, who does the inspection, who verifies the inspection's done right, who puts the estimate together. Breaking those things down into each piece, you can start sorting out the different functions in the business, and you can really see where the owner's time needs to be spent. Now, as you grow and you get bigger and bigger, when the shop's hitting 80, 100,000 plus a month, typically the shop owner can't be doing everything anymore. You've got to have a full team there of technicians, service advisors, sometimes a receptionist or customer service rep. You're probably not paying the bills. You probably have a bookkeeper at that point. The bigger you get, the more resources you have to be able to delegate different things. But the first thing we want to do is, what are the things that you're doing that are costing you time and stressing you out that actually should be delegated to somebody else? Once you delegate them, yes, you do need to organize that area and writing up what's the policy and procedure of those different areas. But that's all part of the organizing. The first step is actually breaking down the step-by-step functions of getting the product at the shop and then looking at who can I give this to. Inspections are a great example out in the shop. We have certain standards that we want. You built your business on a certain standard of quality that the customers expect. When you're looking over a vehicle, there's a certain level that you're looking at that vehicle, and you're not just going to look over stuff that's important, whether it's for now or for the future, that your customers, the reason they come there is because you're looking out for them. Well, we've got to set that standard with, if you're going to hire a lube tech or a general service tech, they've got to be able to do that same quality of inspection. And even with your master techs, you've got to set that standard of professionalism to get them to make sure that they're doing it at your standards, what you want in the shop. That takes a little bit more organizing on each of those steps. But to start off, we just want to break it out into who does what and delegate those things that you don't need to be doing. My viewpoint was always, let's say I'm worth $100 an hour. If I can pay somebody $99 an hour to do a function so that I can go and do functions in the shop that are going to make me $100, I'm $1 ahead even that way. I mean, most of them are going to be a lot bigger, right? For example, bookkeeping. My knee-jerk response when things would get tight a long time ago was I would just go in and do bookkeeping. Why? Because I was paying a bookkeeper a certain amount of money per hour. Maybe that was $25 or $30 an hour. And I would figure, well, I'll save that $30 an hour. Well, that's just really not true. Because when I'm spending my time on marketing, my time is really valuable. It's probably in the several $100s an hour range. When I'm actually focused on marketing, my time's probably worth $500 to $1,000 an hour, because I know the results of me getting a marketing campaign put together and actually out there pulling work in, how much money it's going to make the shop. You want to look at what things are you doing that you could pay somebody else to do in your shop, or sometimes subbing that out, meaning that my bookkeeper is remote. I don't have an in-house bookkeeper. Pay her very well, but she's really good at what she does. But I can delegate a lot of things, even though she's not on location, to her. And it's very well worth my time and money to do so. So we want to break those things out and actually separate out the functions and delegate to those people. Another thing you got to think about is getting away from the shop. Sometimes just taking a break throughout the day can make a world of difference in how you feel. Take a lunch, get in your car, or if you're in a city, go for a walk and go pick up lunch. Get your attention away from the computer screen, away from the cars, away from the customers, away from the employee, and just go have lunch. Take breaks throughout the day. Go drive a car. Go walk around the block. A lot of those things can help you sort your thoughts when you're not buried in the middle of all the problems. Taking breaks, taking even power naps can be so valuable, and they're really very healthy. A 20, 30-minute power nap may not be real, but some people can take 10 or 12-minute power naps, and they're really healthy for the body too, if you're one of those people that can do that. My father-in-law used to have a little, not a bed, but a little couch thing in his office, and he would take little power naps. He'd work 12, 15 hours a day, but he would take those little power naps every once in a while, and that would just refresh him to finish the day strong. So take breaks away from the shop. On a longer term viewpoint, take vacations, get away. Shut the phone off, shut the computer off, delegate the day-to-day duties. Know that you're going to have to handle some things when you come back sometimes, but you got to get away. And then finally is, going back to organizing the shop flow. Really, you got to organize everything. Every function in the shop needs to be really laid out on who's doing what. We have a system that we use in organizing the entire organization. A lot of our shops, as they get more and more volume, they realize that if they're going to grow, they've got to separate out all the functions, from the administrative functions, the sales and marketing functions, bookkeeping, production, public relations, quality control. All those things need to be broken out. What's really funny is when we actually do this drill and we're organizing this thing in an organizing chart, it's amazing how many of those things the owner is actually responsible for, because they haven't delegated them. It's not just the shop flow of, customer dropping car off to customer picking the vehicle up. There's other things that are involved in actually getting the whole organization organized so that you can actually grow. And that's a system that we have in place that we do very effectively with shops as large as $3-4 million a year, and as small as $20,000-$30,000 a month. So you need to get organized. Spend the time. It's a time very well spent in getting your shop fully organized. Just keep in mind, again, you're amongst a few people in the world that have taken the leap being an entrepreneur. It's such a blessing to have the entrepreneur spirit, in my opinion. I love what I do. I love the ability to be able to create my own business. I love the ability to be able to decide when I want to work. I work a lot, but I decide when I want to work. If I want to take some time off to do something special with my friends or family, I have that control. But realize that you're building something great. You're building an environment where employees like to come to work and they can make a good living for many, many years. You're teaching people how to be successful in their careers. You're helping a lot of customers with their vehicles. Not every auto repair shop out there is a great auto repair shop. You have the ability to create a great experience for people who have to get their cars fixed, because these cars are getting older and older, and they're getting more and more expensive to both buy and repair. And they need us and they need you. So keep that in mind. Keep the goal in mind when you're dealing with stressful days. We do a goals workshop every single year, typically at the end of the year, to get owners out of their heads and start thinking with the big picture. What am I trying to accomplish? Why do I want to be the best shop around? What are those purposes behind that? And really give you some reasons why you go through the stressful times in order to build that business, whether that's one location or multiple locations, your retirement, your employees, your well-being, your standard of living, just all the benefits of being a business owner. Why are you really doing it? So that's the tip for today. I hope this was helpful. If you need help, if you want to look at your shop flow, you want to look at your basic organization of your shop and who does what, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you. You can go to our website at winningautoshops.com, or you can email me direct at Jimmy, Jimmy, @winningautoshops.com. Have a great day.